Hello, YouTube! My name is Scott, and I just got around to watching Cobra Kai. That's right, folks, I finally managed to finish the series. I should say finish because there is another season coming, but you know what I mean. Season 5, Episode 10, titled Head of the Snake, which is pretty appropriate, considering, the saying about cutting the head off a snake to kill a body and all that. Which I will explain as I go. Now, as for everything that happens, it all comes together at the end. There's not really separate plots. I don't know. A good way to look at it would be like if you were starting at like the leaves of a tree and working your way toward the trunk, because everything comes together at the end. So, I'm just going to start from the beginning and hopefully not leave anything out. Now, where do we start? With Kreese, of all people. He's talking to his therapist, talking about how, it's too late to change, and she gets right down in front of him telling him, you don't have to be the same person. You can, rewrite your life starting now and make an ending that you're proud of. Unfortunately, that ending comes a little bit later when he attempts to stop a fight in the cafeteria and gets violently shivved multiple times, to the tune of Frank Sinatra's My Way, which, sure, why not? That's how I want to go. Anyway, from there, the episode cuts to where we left off the last time, where Johnny and Daniel and Chosen were bouncing around like pinballs in the back of a careering party limo. Well, finally, that limo comes to a halt. And surprisingly, it's not one of Silver's guys driving it. It's Mike Barnes. See, he thought Daniel was the one that burned down his furniture store for whatever reason. Things might have been a little bad between them at the beginning, but, they commiserated. He got a commission off it. He sold Chosen a $2,000 sofa. But anyway, so it's Johnny and Chosen that managed to convince him that Silver's the one to blame, and they go off to take him out. Not Daniel, because he's the only one thinking clearly, despite the fact that 3 of those people are drunk, and according to him, Mike Barnes is on something. But they end up leaving him in the middle of nowhere. Now, at the same time, back at the apartment complex, Miguel and Robbie are there. Hawk and Dimitri showed up. Dimitri's got his, Tech Town gear with him, because Sam and Tori have settled their differences and are teaming up because they're pretty sure that they can find the video evidence of Silver beating the crap out of Stingray instead of Kreese and finally take him down. Now, they know they're not going to be able to do that at the old dojo, but the data should be on a server at the flagship dojo, so that's where they're headed. But as far as Silver goes, he's hanging out at home with Sensei Kim, who I literally almost called Ensign again, and I'm telling you, it's the shirt. They're talking about their plans about the Sakai Taikai, only they are interrupted when a mysterious party limo comes smashing through Silver's gates. This was not the best idea on these guys' part, okay? They are a combination of drunk and high. There are only 3 of them. Barnes manages to try to take out one guy before getting knocked unconscious. And then, wouldn't you know it, the entire Tang Soo Do army shows up to take on Johnny and Chosen, who are both drunk, and who do a surprisingly good job of defending themselves, considering it took 2 of them to beat one of their guys in a previous episode. But at one point, Johnny decides he can handle all of them, and Chosen goes after Silver. And their fight, considering it's a couple of older guys taking each other on, is really well done. Especially when they get to the point where Silver pulls out a sword, and Chosen, since he's no longer at the bar, whips out his side blades. Now, the way this is shot, I'm guessing it's meant to evoke images of old samurai or martial arts movies. The thing is, I haven't seen a lot of those, so I couldn't tell you exactly what it's supposed to look like, but it's really good. There are a couple of really nice shots in here. There's a slow motion shot of Chosen deflecting Silver's sword with his sai. Silver unfortunately gets in all the blows. There's one where he slashes Chosen's shoulder, and another one where he slashes the back of his thigh. And right after that, there's a shot of his blade and the blood dripping off of it, which I hate to say is really good. Chosen still manages to get the upper hand, but at just this one crucial moment, he's distracted because he hears Johnny, and Silver not only gets up, but slashes him in the back. And Chosen falls into the water, and the blood's streaming out behind him, and it looks both really beautiful and really sad at the same time. Speaking of at the same time, at the Cobra Kai flagship dojo, they get in with Tori's keycard, which is crucial because everybody talks about them breaking and entering when they didn't. And they get up into the office, okay? And while Hawk and Dimitri are hacking the server to try and find the video, Robbie takes out this camera so nobody can tell what's going on, but they don't realize that there's another camera in the giant Cobra Kai logo behind them, even though, we can see it because there's a big bright red light there. And, Silver, of course, finds out and marshals the Cobra Kai forces to stop them. Same time, again, Daniel's walking down the road trying to find somebody. He comes up to this guy who's in a truck, and, he's asking for help. The guy doesn't want to help him because, I don't know, he seems almost like a class struggle thing because Daniel's pretty well dressed and talking about being in a limo, and this guy's a redneck with a pickup truck. Daniel is about ready to get physical with him, but he bangs on his truck, and like 4 more guys get out. So this could have ended really badly if... Did I forget something? I did. If Stingray hadn't shown up. Why did Stingray show up? Because earlier, Daniel was on the phone with Amanda, and while they were talking, she noticed somebody pull into their driveway, and it looked like it was Cobra Kai. So he's freaking out. But he managed to leave a pin to his location before his phone lost service. And it turned out Stingray was actually the one who pulled up and went to get Daniel. And he mentioned about how he got a text about the Cobra Kai kids going to the dojo to take on Miyagi-Do. Meanwhile, at Miyagi-Do, oh my gosh. Meanwhile, at Cobra Kai, so Hawk and Dimitri managed to get the video. The problem is, it's deleted after the point where Silver says, "You want to be Cobra Kai?" and right before he starts administering the beatdown. But Tori knows of another video if they can find it. And I believe that's about the point when they realize, oh no, like the entire class of Cobra Kai is downstairs. So, it's time to get some defense on. Let's see. No. Okay. I'm actually going to stick with that. It's a little heart-to-heart between Robbie and Kenny. It's like, you don't want to do this? Yes, I do. And then it is on. That entire fight, there's a lot of it that's like disjointed if you're not focusing on the main characters, because there's a lot of kids fighting in the background, and I'm pretty sure it shouldn't have even worked out this way because Cobra Kai outnumbered Miyagi-Do severely. But it's all about protecting Hawk and Dimitri, who are upstairs trying to find this other video. And it looks like they're going to be able to do it and get it uploaded to Cobra Kai's YouTube channel before Kyler and the gang showed up. And they try the whole intimidation thing, and it doesn't work because Hawk literally doesn't care what they call him anymore. Character growth for Hawk. And he fights the 3 of them, and they get to where they're going to have to do this whole thing remotely or via Wi-Fi. So they disconnect, and it's working on it's going on the tablet. The video's uploading at this point. And they Hawk and Dimitri take out the 3 of them and get downstairs to join the fight. And then, next thing you know, the tablet flies out of Dimitri's hands, and thank goodness Anthony picks it up. And it turns into the lesson that Chosen was teaching earlier about protecting the egg. Let's face it, Anthony's not the best fighter. So all of Miyagi-Do is surrounding him and fighting off Cobra Kai. Though there was enough time in there for Kenny to hit Robbie with the silver bullet. Which is weird because I'm pretty sure that was supposed to cause lasting damage, but whatever. Meanwhile, back at the Silver residence, Silver decides he needs to go to Cobra Kai and settle things there. And he just tells the other senseis to finish Johnny, who somehow he's not at fighting strength, he's barely standing, but he's alive and doesn't seem to be feeling pain. I guess it's the whiskey and White Claw. But he's fighting, they're taking him out. They somehow get back into that sword room. I don't remember how that happened. And between the 4 of them knocking him around, the ultrasound photo falls out of his pocket. And it's like Popeye's spinach for Johnny because he doesn't want to lose the life he has now. He refuses to go down. So he fights off he fights off a majority of the Tang Sudo guys. There's this one thing like where it almost looks like he's going to be beaten, and one of them has a sword, and Johnny barely manages to get out of the way before the guy swings a sword and hacks off a finger of one of the other guys. And when it gets down to just one left, Barnes shows up out of nowhere and takes him out. But Johnny's like, I did most of this myself. And Barnes' like, yeah, you did. So, battle over at the Silver place. Meanwhile, at Cobra Kai, it looks pretty desperate. Miguel and Robbie agreed they're not going to be able to hold them off. Almost did it again. Sensei Kim shows up to show Tori a lesson. Sam runs to defend her, and the two of them can't take her out because, big surprise. But that's when you get a nice, perfectly timed babyface turn from Devin, because Sensei Kim tries to convince her that she can be the future of Cobra Kai, and she don't want it. She's not going to do it this way. Probably because Sensei Kim was taking on Tori, who has an obviously busted up hand. I don't know. But Anthony gets a brilliant idea. While everybody is defending him, he sets the video to play not just on YouTube, but to play on the Cobra Kai dojo TVs. So when it comes up, everybody stops and watches. And it's security footage of Silver telling Tori, admitting that he paid off the ref in the All Valley tournament, you know, as an insurance policy, and how Tori could still be the champion and all. And yeah, it basically has the effect you'd think it would. Daniel and Stingray and the ladies have already shown up, and Stingray took out like the Cobra Kai B squad by himself. And they get in there and they see the video, everybody sees it, and Silver's just like, what, you think he's going to stop anything? He has this whole speech where he still thinks he has the Cobra Kai kids on his side, but apparently it was enough to sway all of them, amazingly. And I'm sure there's something I'm missing here. Oh yeah, penis breath. That was how they knew the Miyagi-Do kids were at the Cobra Kai dojo. He defected. But they think Tori defected, so... Anyway, I'm way off track here. So, this all comes down to a battle between Daniel and Silver. And surprisingly, it's not one of those kinds of battles where, you know, Silver beats Daniel down and then he, you know, beats back and wins. He almost has the upper hand from the start. Because during the battle, we're back to movie clips, specifically from Karate Kid, I believe 3, where Silver was training Daniel in a style that he called Quicksilver. And Daniel uses Silver's lessons against him to take him out. And after that, there's this shot of all these Cobra Kai kids like taking off their Cobra Kai merch and just throwing it on him as they walk out. Everybody's commiserating outside afterwards because the police have been called finally. Kyler's trying to claim that he's the hero. Stingray is changing his statement. Robbie and Tori make up. Miguel and Sam are in love now. She's got the necklace. Huzzah. The party limo rolls up. Johnny comes out, and, you know, he and Carmen are happy, even though he looks like crap and definitely needs to be taken care of. And surprisingly, Chosen survived. He has at least 3 slash wounds in his body, but he's like bandaged up and walking into the ambulance saying maybe you should have had a short island iced tea. And Daniel happens to see in the back of the limo where Chosen was. He's like, is that a Rembrandt? It's a painting that Silver was kind of adjusting earlier, so I guess we should have realized it was going to show up again. Check off the Rembrandt, I guess. And Barnes is like, yeah, it's going to be worth as much as a furniture store, right? Because who cares if he steals from Silver at this point? Because Silver is going down. Johnny says something about how hopefully Silver will share a jail cell with Kreese. And one of the cops is like, you don't know what happened? And this is where it ends, okay? Silver is wheeled into... Wow, I got that wrong again. Kreese was wheeled into the infirmary at the prison. And when the doctor starts examining him, he's like, wait a minute. He sniffs like the blood on him, and he's like, this is melted jello. And creases his eyes open, and he takes out the 2 guards. Presumably he didn't like kill the doctor or anything, but he took his clothes and the badge from his therapist that he swiped from her earlier, and he escapes. In the long run, I don't know how great of an idea this was, but wow. And we're done. I don't think season 6 has come yet. Obviously, I'm going to look and see if it has, but this, if they didn't know another season was coming, this would have been an amazing ending. Although I'm pretty sure they would have cut out the whole thing where Kreese actually survived. Because, I mean, why would you bring him back? Just so, he couldn't come back for the end of the or for the show? I'm rambling. I assume that whole thing at the end would have been ended differently with like probably training at Miyagi-Do or Cobra Kai. How? Maybe Cobra Kai? I don't know. With Johnny and Daniel both being senseis and training their students and being friends and, happy endings all around. But that is not what happened. Presumably they're still going to go to the Sekai Taikai, and if that's what next season is about, bring it on. I just have to figure out if it's going to be, just got around to watching or one of my instant reviews. Anyway, that is the end. That is what I think. What do you guys think? How about you drop a comment down below, like the video, share it around, subscribe if you're so inclined, hit that bell icon below for notifications when I put another video up, and until next time, I have been Scott, and this has been Just Got Around to Watching, an offshoot of opinions no one cares about. Everyone has opinions. This one was mine.